Welcome back, people, to this next tutorial. This one is all about how we can add some customization to your rim in the form of using a SVG file to create a relief like what we've got here on the screen. You can see that I've actually got the Holland Racing Team logo and their text etched into part of the rim. So I'm going to take you through that process about how we can achieve that. Alright, first thing to do is to go find from the internet the image that you want. And I'm just going to jump out of this file into the blank file. And I'm just going to go back to my color recognition for the different parts. So on the internet, I simply went and grabbed a Holden logo. It's best if you choose a logo that or an image that's black and white. It just makes it easier to distinguish between different parts. What I am going to do is just start this again too, because I want to take you through that process. So you go to the internet, you grab the logo that you want. There's one I grabbed there, and you save that to your project folder. You then need to open up Adobe Illustrator, which is available on self-service if you haven't already yet downloaded it. And then go to File and Open, and then go and open that image. Now at the moment the image will be like a GIF or a JPEG or something like that. And what we need to do here is actually change it from being an image, which is a pixel image, into a vector graphic, which means that it's going to be some lines that the CAD program can actually read and understand. I'm going to close that too because I want to show you how to do this from scratch. So I've just opened up the image, and to vectorize it or to make it into an image that that Fusion will recognize, we need to do two things. We need to come up to Object, or first of all select the image, and then come up to Object, scroll down towards the bottom where it says Image Trace, and then click on Make. Once you've done that, come over to probably the right hand side of your screen over here, and there's a little dialog box beside the image trace. You just want to click onto that, and this here gives us more control over what this image is going to look like. Now depending on what image you had, sometimes these settings here you might need to change by pulling them up and down to create more realistic or to change that shape. So just play with threshold, paths, corners and noise. And then you must, I repeat, you must click on this ignore white tag here. Make sure that it is highlighted before you then hit expand, which converts this from a pixelated image into a vector. So come across the right here, click on to expand. Nothing seems to have happened, but if I click and hold onto that image and drag it apart, you can see here now what's happened is that it's traced over the top of the black and white images, and it's actually made this into a bunch of vectors or lines. Alright, so once you've done that, we need to save this as a file type that Fusion understands. So come up to File, Save As, save it into the same folder that you save everything else. I'm just going to save it as logo 1. But it is not an Adobe Illustrator file that you want to save it as, the file type. You want to save it as an SVG, this one down the very bottom here. Click on SVG, click on Save, and just accept those settings. I don't think there's anything there that's going to be different. Click OK. And then you can go back to Fusion. So let's go back to Fusion. There it is there. So what we're going to do, the workflow is we're actually going to put that image onto a sketch, onto a work plane, and then we're going to project that. So what I'm going to do is to turn on one of my existing work planes that I knew I drew up here before when I cut out those holes. So I'm hovering over the work planes or construction planes here in my file tree, and I can see that plane number 4. If I hover over it, it gives me a preview to show that's the one that I want to use. So I'm just going to turn that on, and then I'm going to select that plane, come up to Insert, and scroll down to it says insert SVG, and then with a bit of luck we should then get the file. Now we have to go select the file, so select SVG file, click onto that one, and then navigate your way to the actual file. So remember, it's an SVG file, logo1 SVG, that's what I called it, and click on open, and now the preview comes in on our screen. Now you can use your tools here to position it, and I'm trying to get it towards the center. And you can see here it's a bit too big, so I'm going to use my scale tool over here. I'm going to reduce that down to say 0.5, and then use those tools again. And I mean, you can make this whatever scale you want, but I'm going to fit mine so it goes in between the wheel nuts here. So I can see that it's not too bad on an x-axis. I need to move a little bit to the right hand side. So I need to use some numerical value here for the x-axis. So I might just try 102. Oh yeah, it's a bit too far. 101 perhaps. Now I can see that there's almost an even gap either side there, but my y-axis I definitely need to go up a little bit. So click up here in the y-axis. That'll be a positive direction, I do believe. Oh no, it's a negative. Type in negative distance. That was too much. Maybe 4. Yeah, maybe probably 3.5. No, 4.5. No, that'll do me. Okay, so that's pretty much in the center. I might just make that a little bit smaller so it doesn't foul anything there. So I might just go to 0.45 for the scale. Whoops, 0.45. Oh, it's a bit of a mongrel. It moved it way over there. I have to do that all over again. It's a bit of a pain. Okay, I'm going to drag it to there. That made it considerably smaller. Oh, because it made it 0.545 of that image. Okay. Well, I'm just going to leave it that, and I'll show you how we can muck around with that. Okay, click OK. And hopefully, yep, there it goes. And if we just use our rotation tool, you can see there's the sketch sitting up there on that work plane. Now we can grab the filled section of the sketch and then use it to remove material out of the brake rotor here. So I'm going to zoom in, and I can hit E for extrude, and you can see here this image has worked quite well in that it's looped the majority of the line. So I'm going to select that being the part that's going to be the part to cut or to remove the profile. Zoom out a bit, grab my arrow, bring that down, and wait for it to get touch into the material. Now this bit here is a little bit of hit and miss, so you're going to have to scroll around. I think that's probably a little bit too thick. Might just make my objects a little bit transparent. So I might just turn the tire off because it's not going to be playing any part in this. And I might take the rim and just change the opacity. I can do this halfway through or not. Oh, I can't edit that opacity, so I'm just going to guess this one. It's a little bit clunky. My computer's being a little bit slow. Drag it back up a bit. What's that set to at the moment? Make sure it says cut over here, and it says it can't find anything to cut, so I need to drag that down another 5 mil. It's at 80. I think I'm going to make that 75, I think, just so it cuts in, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, if it's in red, it's in 75. I mean, it's in cut mode. Click OK, and if all goes according to plan, we should get, or we should have, this nice little relief inside there. So it's cool. You could then muck around with different colors on this, and you can make this black and white, whatever. Let's just jump into, okay, and then you could use your different color text. You can make parts of that black and parts of it, red, or whatever you want to do for highlights and so on. So that's a pretty cool process. So turn my tire back on, and then from there you can start to create your detail and assembly drawings. Okay, have fun with that one.